Today we are going to be looking at domain and range. So let's start off with some vocabulary terms. The domain are all possible x values. Range are all the possible y values. When we are looking at a graph, the domain, we are going to scan our pencil from left to right. And this will be along the x-axis. And the range, we're going to scan our pencil from down to up along the y. So this is going to tell us what values are our ending points to make our domain and range. So when we write it, we can do either two ways. The first way is we list the domain and range, and we use brackets and commas. So the brackets we would use are these squiggly brackets. The second way is more if you have a graph and you're looking at it visually, we are going to use rounded or square brackets. We use rounded when the graph goes towards positive or negative infinity. Also, we use it if the graph does not include a value, and that's going to be indicated by this open circle on the graph. So an example, if we have an open circle and our graph looks like this, so it does not include this point here, but it includes all the other points. We're going to use square brackets when the graph includes the number. So let's look at some examples. We have some list of points. So we need to write the domain. So all possible x values. So we have -5, -4, -2, 0, and 1. Those are our x values. So we need to write the domain with our x values, and we're going to put this from least to greatest. So -5, -4, -2, 0, and 1. I just listed out the x values and put commas in between with the squiggly brackets. Now the range are all of the y values. So we're going to do it the same way. We're going to list them out. So we have 4, -1, 1, 4, and 3. We're going to list it from least to greatest. So we have -1, 1, 3, and then 4. 4 we have listed twice, but we only need to list it once. Again, I listed our numbers, commas in between with our squiggly brackets. I want you to try B, come back, and check your work after you're done. So let's check. Our domain, we should have from least to greatest, -3, -1, 0, and 2. And our range, we should have from least to greatest, -4, 0, 2, 4, and 5. Now let's look at some examples when we have a graph. So we're going to take our pencil and go from left to right for the domain. So the left part of the graph, we have an arrow. So that means it's going all the way, continuing on to negative infinity. And when we go all the way to right, we have an arrow again. So that's showing us it's going all the way to positive infinity. Errors mean infinity. When we write a domain, we have the ending points, and then we have to put brackets around. So anytime we have infinity, we put the rounded brackets. So range, do the same thing. We're going from down all the way up. So down we have the arrows again, so it's negative infinity. Going all the way up to positive infinity, and then we put the rounded brackets. B, let's start with domain. We're going from left to right. We have rounded brackets. So it goes from negative infinity to positive infinity. Put the rounded brackets on. Range, the lowest point here is right on the x-axis, so that's 0. And it includes that point. There's no open circle in this graph to show it doesn't include, so we put the square bracket, and it goes all the way up, and we have the arrows, so it's positive infinity with a rounded bracket. C, domain, we start from left to right. Left, we start right here. We start at 0. It includes it, so we have a square bracket, and it goes all the way to the right, which we have our arrows, so it goes to positive infinity, and it's always rounded. So range, start from the bottom and go to the top. So from the bottom, we have negative infinity. Going all the way to the top is the positive infinity, and always rounded brackets. So that is domain and range. Please reach out if you have any questions.